Okay, the very first thing that we want to do is establish the scales across the fretboard, and we're going to start with the major scale. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the whole and half step formula just so that you can create any major scale. And this is really the key to being able to create any major scale, is understanding and memorizing this whole and half step formula. So the very first scale that we're going to look at is G major. So we're going to start on our G, which is going to be this particular G, which is going to be 6th string, 3rd fret. And I'm going to use that whole and half step formula to build the scale right up the fretboard, and I'm only going to stay on the 6th string for right now. So I'm going to start here on G, move up to one whole step, and remember, a whole step is when you move from one fret, skip over this fret, and go to the very next fret. So you skip one fret in between, and that's a whole step. A half step would be from this fret to the very next fret. So a whole step up from G would be to A, so let's start back with G. Now we need another whole step. Now a half step. Now a whole step. Whole step. Whole step. And then half step. Okay, let me play it once for you without talking, and then you'll see it, I hope. Okay, so I'm actually playing 8 notes. So I'm starting on G and I'm going all the way up to this G. But as far as the formula goes, it's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So 2 wholes, W-H-O-L-E, and followed by a half step. 3 wholes, followed by a half step. One more time on the G. Okay, so that's our G major scale. Now the reason I'm starting out with scales is because that I'm going to start showing you how the chords can come from these scales, and how when we harmonize the scale, when we turn these notes in that particular scale into chords, it's going to produce what we call the harmonized diatonic scale. So there's going to be 7 particular chords that come out of those different notes. And I want to also show you that there are only 7 distinct pitches, 7 different pitches. Because remember, the G all the way up here, it repeats, right? So this is a G here, and this is also a G. So it's the same note. So there's actually 7. I mean, it's still a G note. It's just played in a different octave. Okay, an octave, like an octagon, has 8 sides. Octave means 8 notes up. So an octave, even though that G is actually, an octave away, there's only 7 different pitches. So that's really important to understand. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I go ahead and finish it out, because that's what your ear wants to hear as you go along. Okay? Now we want to use the exact same concept and play it on different strings, and we're going to be, whichever note that we start on is going to be producing a different scale. So I'm going to start this time on C, which is I'm going to play it C note on the 3rd fret, 5th string. I could also play this note here, 6th string, 8th fret. Okay, so it's still the same note, right? 3rd fret, 5th string, 8th fret, 6th string. Exact same note on the staff, okay? In tab, it'd be notated, obviously. This would be on the 3rd fret, 5th string. This would be on the 8th fret, 6th string. Okay, so let's use our whole and half step formula to create our C major scale on the 5th string. Move up a whole step, another whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and then a half step. Okay, so that's our C major scale. And of course I could play that exact same scale if I wanted to here on this 6th string 8th fret. See how those notes are exactly the same? And that's the beautiful thing about guitar, is that you can play the same note in different positions across the fretboard. Okay, so that's our C major scale on using the whole and half step system.